Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are casting, myself and Zelth are casting the quarterfinals of the Amateur Weekend Cup, and today we have Xenox and Zykon Esports. Zelth, how are you going?
I'm doing quite well. I think it's actually a White Lotus layers.
Ah, White Lotus Slice, that's the one. Why would they put Xenox up there? I was looking at their name on my second screen, but I don't know why. I am shocking with names.
Yeah, it's all good. Let's just hop right into this drafting. We've got the Outworld, the Darkseer, the Wisp, and the Batrider. It's a fairly common bands, and pretty much immediately right after that, we see the very pickups of Nature's Prophet, Visage, and the Lifestealer. So White Lotus Slayers, they're picking up that Lifestealer very early on, whereas Zykon, they've got the Nature's Prophet and the Visage. So Zykon look to have the more global presence at the moment, but they also look like they want to play an aggressive style with that Visage.
Yeah, I love this Visage pickup. Mr. Polo Jr. in his group stages for Group B, he was playing absolutely phenomenal on this Visage, always receiving those double stuns on those familiars. He was always in the right place at the right time supporting, and the rotation of Zykon Esports supports have been fantastic. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cast White Lotus Slayers, but I did get to see one of their final matches, and they were very strong throughout the group stages. I believe they finished second during their stages. They had a fantastic final match, so definitely looking forward to seeing how strong White Lotus Slayers will play in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And throughout the entire playoff stages, none of the, well, at the very least in the first round, none of the teams have actually faced off against each other. So it's going to be quite interesting just to see how the different play styles clash since they haven't met up in the group stages. I'm sure they've reviewed any of the games that were casted and whatnot, and had a look at some of the plays. So we might see some bans that go out specific against players, but so far we do see the Nyx Assassin, the Keeper of Light, the Shadow Demon, and the Puck get banned out, and a Bane gets picked up here by Zykon.
This Bane, as usual, is a fantastic counter against that last Lifestealer. You have that magic, you have the Fiend Script which goes through that magic immunity, and also it works well on a Weaver. You can hold that Weaver into place for 5, and I believe, yeah, 5 seconds, 7 seconds if you get the Scepter. But I don't see a Bane getting the Scepter anytime soon, but that works wonders on a Weaver and Lifesteal. If you can do that on a Weaver for 5 seconds, that almost completely nullifies his time lapse. If you have a follow-up stun afterwards, or before it, and you lead into the Fiend Script, Weaver won't be able to time-lapse most of that damage, and will be able to fall quite easily. And now we see the Jakiro being picked up from White Lotus Slayers. Very strong stun, great damage output with that Macro Pie and that Dual Breath, and can help push down those towers quite easily with that Liquid Fire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, generally see Jakiro get played very aggressively with the Ice Path. It can really start setting up some kills in the early levels of the game. We do see a Luna pick up here from Zykon Esports, and I believe we've seen this from them, this sort of tri-lane from them yesterday as well, that Visage Bane Luna combo, and the damage output from these three heroes is just so insane. They're able to make first bloods very, very quickly. And we do see a Storm Spirit picked up here by White Lotus Slayers, and this is very interesting. This gives them a lot of map presence as well. I mean, on the side of Zykon, you've got the Nature's Prophet. On the side of White Lotus Slayers, you've got that Storm Spirit and Lifestealer. You know, Lifestealer can invest into the Storm Spirit can ball lining into a battle, and really put the opponents off guard.
I really like the Storm Spirit pickup because, as you said, it does give a lot of map presence. But if you're going against someone such as Nature Prophet, if he tries to sprout and get himself out of there, you zip straight through those trees, you cut him down, and the rest of your team can finish him off. You've got your Vortex, you can suck him out, and that's a nice little stun to try and finish him off. And also, he's a fun hero to watch. He goes flying around the map, he pulls out a lot of damage, he can be in 1 second, out in the next, and not to mention the Lifestealer Storm Spirit combo. It's got a lot of potential burst damage right there, and having burst damage with the sustained damage coming out from both of these heroes, especially when they start picking up a few items, is going to be a very strong combination to deal with. And up against the Luna, if she pops her ultimate, you can zip straight on out of there, and you're not going to receive any of her Lucent beams from her solar eclipse.
Yeah, definitely. And it's quite interesting to see exactly how both these teams play this. You know, they've both sort of got those aggressive styles here, you know, Nature's Prophet, Visage Bane, Luna on Zykon, and so far Lifestealer, Weaver, Jakiro, and Storm Spirit for White Lotus Slayers. You know, these two sides aren't exactly very defensive. They're very much on the aggressive front. Weaver loves to do some pushing towers and split pushing when possible. We've seen that in multiple games throughout this tournament, but in others as well. But Luna as well. If Luna can start to snowball in the early game, and we've seen, I can't remember who actually played on the Luna last time, but whoever it was, they pretty much always get the last hits. Every single last hit, it's theirs. Every creep dies to them, no matter what. And yeah, it plays fantastically, comes online very quickly. So I think it's going to be up to White Lotus Slayers to ensure that this tri-lane of Zykon doesn't go as successfully as they'd hope. Oh, another Kunkka pickup, so it looks like it's going to be a mid Kunkka, which is very interesting. This also gives them much more team presence as well.
And their last Kunkka they played absolutely crunched their opponents. Nice well-timed boat and fantastic X-Mass spot onto those torrents. He had perfect timing throughout the entire time and always found nice kills, especially on the opposing Weaver. Will he be able to find that again in this game against White Lotus Slayers? Weaver could be seen. It's going to be quite fun to watch. So White Lotus Slayers, they're going to be looking towards their final support hero into this game. Who will be helping out that Jakiro and Lifestealer? I'm going to guess they will be going for a safe lane and have that Weaver in that off lane. Zykon, I kind of hope they go for that aggressive tri-lane and go up against White Lotus Slayers' tri-lane, because they do have that stronger tri-lane and they have that burst damage as you've talked about. And Luna, who I'm not sure who quite played Luna last game. I would be almost want to say it was Dragon, not quite sure. But even in that that long lane, they should be able to do quite a lot of last hitting, and they can pull out a lot of aggression against White Lotus Slayers. And I think that's what one of the things you need to do against this Lifestealer early on. Try and shut him down early and get a few kills on him or his supports, and then he's going to be hit hard into this mid game, and then you can just snowball it from there.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen Zykon also just leave that that lane empty, and we've seen them actually, I believe it was against anything really that they picked up the lifestyle, anything really picked up the lifestyle that was, and they just basically left him to free farm in that lane, and they didn't really matter so much because they had the Luna free farming, and it was the Darkseer that was in the jungle before he went into lane. Oh, and a Chen, this is very interesting, and this actually opens up a lot of early play here for White Lotus Slayers, as you know, Chen picks up some early creeps, can help get some of those early kills as well, depending on which creeps he picks up, but also push down towers very early and helps increase your map presence, but also boost the overall gold for the entire team.
Absolutely agree. And so we will be hopping right into this game after the final hero of White Lotus Slayer is picked up. A little bit of a team tactics going on, thinking of how they want to play and where they want to go. And there we go. We're into the first game of the quarterfinals. On the side of Zykon, we have their captain Dragon being played onto that Luna. So I was, in the end, quite correct. We've got Mr. Pooh on that Bane. Then we had the forward support of Mr. Polo Jr. on the Visage. Mid lane will be taken up by Blood Drunk on that Kunkka. And finally, you have Eduardo on that Nature's Prophet.
And on the opposite side of White Lotus Slayers, that we've got their captain playing the Lifestealer. It's AWC, I don't know, man. I don't really pronounce that. Their mid hero will be 0TBK. And of course that is the Storm Spirit. Weaver will be played by Captain Bang Bang. Kirino will be on the Jakiro, and last but not least we've got Dovakin on the Chen.
So we have these three heroes. Okay, they're going to be putting their three heroes down on the safe lane. So both sides are running the safe lane, tri-lane. Weaver's coming in. He wants to get a little ward off, but he's already surrounded. Nice placement of a ward here by Zykon. They don't want to throw it in the usual spot where you'd see to watch around here. They're throwing it a little bit more into the lane so they can watch that Weaver move around a little bit more easily. So look to see them play quite aggressive against that Weaver. And Mr. Polo Jr. is carrying sentry wards for if they need to find this Weaver. And Weaver might walk into a trap here. He walks around. He's got Sakuchi. There we go. We got Nightmare. We got the sentry ward down. Could this be the first blood of the quarterfinals? He does Sakuchi away. Nice Soul Assumption. Oh, and they find the kill. Not Soul Assumption. Grave Chill. Visage will pick up the first blood. And Weaver, he's not going to have a fun lane down here.
Definitely. I mean, he just gave away the first blood. I believe it was Visage who got that kill. Yeah, it was. But yeah, Mr. Polo Jr., I mean, very well timed Grave Chill as well. Didn't pop it too early. Made sure to get it right after the right time, and just finished off the Weaver as he was starting to move away from the sentry view.
And that placement of that ward in the lane was just fantastic. They got into position because they saw that Weaver coming. They hid behind the forest, and then they capitalized on it. So, very well played by Zykon. Great communication and great presence in the lane. And now the ward is placed eventually down onto this river, but I think Mr. Polo Jr. may have seen it, so it might get counter-warded. But other than that, the supports are going to get some nice pulls in and get some decent amount of XP and gold out of these lanes.
Yeah, definitely.
When up top,
I would
Nature's
also like to
Prophet.
note that Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Nature's Prophet doing a good job of blocking the camps with his trance. It's a very smart play, and you know they've actually placed a sentry here, which has cost them some gold, and they think, you know, okay, so they've just put a ward up, but that's not the case. It's just been Nature's Prophet with the trance. Oh, hold that for. Looks like another kill on Weaver in bottom lane. So this tri-lane already working wonders here for Zykon.
It looks like he was very well out of position though. I mean, you're down so far away from your tower and just so easy for those supports to come in and just wrap around and kill you. So it was a little bit strange for that Weaver to be so far out of position. Zykon capitalizes, makes that Weaver pay, but the Weaver should be able to grab a creep wave of experience, which is going to help him out, hit that level 2 underneath this tower. And that should give him his first Gemini attack, unless he wants to go for those bugs. There we go, he does level up that Gemini.
Definitely. The thing now is that Weaver's only level 2 at the moment, whereas Luna's sitting at level 3, and both supports are at level 2 as well, yep. So he has to be very careful, because now there's a lot more burst as well. They've got the soul assumption now, they can really bring him down extremely quickly, so he has to play very carefully.
And we do see that mid lane of Blood Drunk picking up that regen. That's going to help him harass Zero a little bit more in this lane. Zero's taking a fair bit of damage. He doesn't have any consumables left, but he does have a bottle that's coming in on the courier, so he'll be able to sustain a little bit longer. But currently, there's no vision on the rune. We did get a counter ward coming out, and we actually have a smoke by the same two heroes. They're coming around in mid. They're going to try and find a kill in the Storm, so Storm just dodges that torrent, and we might see a first death for this mid lane Zero very shortly. Visage wraps around. He's shown himself into the vision. Nightmare's coming out. We should see a torrent. A torrent is being landed. Soul Assumption is on the ready. There it goes. Soul Assumption. Final hit, and Conquer does find the kill. The Harpy, however, of that Chen zaps away the Visage. So they do get a 1-for-1 trade, but the trade was in favor of Zykon Esports.
Definitely, and that helps Kanka control that mid lane a lot. Certainly helps him out. And yeah, currently I'd have to say that Zykon have probably got the advantage. They are really dominating the bottom lane, that tri lane, who really shut down the Weaver, brought the Luna line much earlier. And now mid is also with that death in favor of Zykon.
Eduardo putting a little bit of pressure onto these two heroes up top, uses that Sprout correctly, and just throws out a few auto attacks to Jakiro, and even at the same time throwing some out to the Lifestealer. So it looks like Nature's Prophet's actually doing pretty well up top. He's sitting on 9 for 4 against the Lifestealer who's 15 for 3, so it's not fantastic, but going up against the tri-lane, where their main focus is to stop you and kill you, that's quite a nice job being pulled out by Eduardo.
I just like to notice that this sentry here, I think it just is that on the edge?
Oh, that would be completely unfortunate if it was.
That's so close.
Like, it looks like it should be, no matter what angle you look at it. That's a little bit unfortunate for Zykon there. They're gonna walk past it. Yeah, that's unfortunately out of vision for them. So that's quite lucky for White Lotus Slayers. They get let off the hook just a little bit there, so it gives a vision for that Storm Spirit to be able to control these runes. If the supports of Zykon didn't already take the runes, however, but it will help out eventually, and it should see any rotation if the supports are not smoked up on the side of Zykon. And we've seen Ice Puff come down on top. They're going to be going against Nature's Prophet, not going to happen. At the meantime, however, I unfortunately missed it, but Conquer destroying that Storm Spirit.
Yeah, he actually used X marks to spot and torrent and followed up with a boat there. And then he needed 2 extra right clicks there, and yeah, Storm Spirit is only level 5, does not have the ball lightning, so was not able to get out. Nice play there by Blunt Drunk in this mid lane.
Definitely capitalizing on that XP and early kill, and just makes that Storm Spirit pay just a little bit longer. Now he's 2 levels ahead, and that's gonna hurt. Your Storm Spirit wants to be the hero with the higher levels, because the higher he goes, the more damage his burst and his maneuverability becomes. And if you're just being shut down on that, you're gonna become quite a target. And actually, he's doing a little bit of damage. I thought he was gonna jump onto that conquer then, but he decided not to.
Yeah, and as we were saying a little bit before, this Luna is just doing so well with the last hits. The Dragon does so amazing. He picks up the aura first just for the extra damage, and that way he cannot miss any of the last hits. He always gets the creep kills, and he's currently sitting on 32 for 11, which is just massive for the first 6 minutes into the game.
And on the side of Zykon, they've all got the levels at the moment. Actually, in mid lane, we see an initiation on Conquer. Conquer is going to get out of there. Nice torrent. Will keep those 2 heroes off of him. And Storm Spirit takes a little bit of tower damage. Doesn't quite fall. So does the Chen. So they weren't able to find that kill. And Conquer will be able to scoot on out of there.
Oh, a very nice play here by Nature's Prophet. He summons his treants and he pulls the lane creeps behind to the Ancients. And this allows them to get that early tier 1 tower kill. It does deny a wave of creeps, but they're not going to be complaining after they've got a tower within the first 6.5 minutes.
And if we do just want to have a little quick look at the golden XP graph, they're both over 2,000 in favor of Zykon. So again, this really early lead. That tower gold is also going to put him higher into that gold very shortly. And they're already looking at putting pressure onto this tier 2 tower. There's nothing this Weaver can do. He's not even level 6 yet. He's working on his first Wraith Band. And he's just going to watch here as his tower, his only safe place on this map, or safe haven in this lane, is slowly being diminished and taken away from him.
Yeah, definitely. And if they pick up this tier 2 tower here in bottom, that is going to be huge. Not only does it give them much more map presence and just set this Weaver to a position where he can't really find farm anywhere unless he goes into one of the other lanes or to jungle, I guess. Or actually we might see initiation here. There's a few heroes from White Lotus Slayers coming in.
Dragon took a lot of damage. We see the zip come flying in. There we go. Remnant down. The Lunar Eclipse has been popped, but he was on low health. The Soul Assumption will pick off that Storm Spirit in the end. Chen's trying to do whatever damage he can do. They're going to find another kill on this Sludge, and they're going to keep pressuring it. Weaver has now hit level 6. He doesn't have enough mana time left, but he doesn't need it. Lifesteal is here. He's got Enfeeble on him. He's only hidden for 60 damage, but there's 4 heroes here. The Ursa Clap will help get that Weaver the final kill. So they get 3 kills with only 1 in return. The tower is in deny range, so we should see that tier 2 tower be denied very shortly.
Yeah, definitely. That was very well played by White Lotus Slayers to transition out of lane and help this Weaver in the bottom lane. This does put Weaver back into the game a little bit more, you know, secure the double kill there, and yeah, just it helps slow down the farm for Zykon.
One of the biggest problems that happened there, that Luna being played by Dragon in that tier 2 tower. Actually, we see initiation on mid. We got the X-Master spot onto the torrent. Lots of damage coming out, and they have more than enough to pick off that Storm Spirit before he can start flying away. Eduardo's popped in with his trance, and they're going to start working on this tier 1 tower. Jakiro, he can't do too much. Lifesteal, he's got an Infest up and running, but against 5 heroes, yeah, this tier 1 tower is going to be more than God. There's nothing White Lotus Slayers can do at the moment against this pushing of Zykon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's another tier 1 tower, and you know, if we look at the gold graph, it's just going to keep going in their favor if this continues to happen. They're currently over 3k in the lead for gold. We saw it dip down slightly with that last sort of engage. Actually, now it's over 4k. Forget that. So this is some really smart play, and look, they're going back on the tier 2 tower. They've noticed that hasn't been denied, and I'm a little bit surprised that it hasn't. White Lotus Slayers should have noticed that this tower. There we go. There's a Storm Spirit going to bring that tower down.
And there it pops. I was almost expecting a Luna to get in there and just pop it off just then, but it's not going to be the case. So we might see Zykon back in, or they might try and put the aggression onto the wave. We see a zip coming in, lands onto Dragon. It's not long enough to keep him into place, and now they've walked into 4 heroes. X marks the spot. Torrent onto the Sorcerer. He doesn't have too much to get on out of there. He takes a lot of burst damage. Brain Sap will finish him off. So it's 4 heroes against 2. That was not the right play to go on there. And now up at top lane, we have the lifesteal and Chen chasing down this Nature's Prophet. He's got enough to TP away, but he's not going to be able to get out of these. He's trying to circle around while there's TP support coming in, but the TP support's a little bit late, and we will see the death. Visage is slowing down that Chen, trying to get that Bane on in there. Bane doesn't have any mana. Still 9 seconds left on his Arcane Boots cooldown. A little bit of misplay coming there. Chen stops for a few seconds. They're still chasing him down. Open Wounds comes out onto the Visage. We see lots of auto attacks coming. Rage is up, doing a lot of damage. Lunar Eclipse is popped. Is it enough? We see the Infest into the Chen creep. Nice play there by the lifesteal because he didn't have that rage on cooldown. They will find another kill onto that Luna, and they keep turning it back around. Bane is going to fall shortly after. That is 4 kills going in favor of White Lotus Slayers.
Yeah, and you know, with that, when Luna popped the ultimate there, that Chen creep, the Sentinel Conqueror, actually, he tanked, or he absorbed a blast or two, which really helped in that fight. But looks like Jakiro here in the mid lane is in a lot of trouble. Looks like Kirane will fall to the last hit of Blood Drop.
Warriors of the wood.
Like that chain creep was just so phenomenally placed. It was right there in the middle to absorb some of those hits, and it allowed that Infest to get in there, come back out, and then it was just worked, and then that lifesteal just worked his way through the rest of the Zykon's team. And now they're going to start pressuring this tier 1 tower with that hero chain creep.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it might actually die to the tower here.
Oh no.
Creep.
Oh, scumbag Dovakin, why would you let that happen to that poor Centaur? So now we see, in the meanwhile, Zykon, they've decided they might try and put a little pressure onto this tier 2 in mid. Not going to happen because unfortunately that creep wave got absolutely demolished by this Jakiro. But they're not going to let up. They're going to keep trying to force these fights against White Lotus Slayers before White Lotus Slayers can get too powerful. I mean, Chen, once he gets that mechanism up, he'll have so much heals in combination with that Hand of God. And speaking of this Chen, we have a smoke up, and they might even find this Chen. There we go, Lucent Beam, X Master Spot onto the Torrent, and we should see the final auto attacks will pick off that Chen. So Chen's going to be absolutely demolished, and now Lifesteal. He could be in a load of trouble if he doesn't just give up these creeps. We got the Bane, he's trying to throw out that Nightmare, not going to be able to get in range. Luckily that daytime vision gave him the vision, get on out of there, but he's still not safe. He needs TP support from his allies. There's no one there. Instead, he's going to TP out, and he's going to go down and farm bottom. So they're just going to give up this tier 1 tower up top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and this gives, well, you know, they could try to go for something else here. White Lotus Slayers, that is. I mean, they've got 2 in mid. They can try put some pressure on this mid tier 1 tower. They won't kill it fast enough compared to Zykon. But there's yeah, they do have all teleports, so they could go back and defend if they really wanted to. And actually just going to go for the tier 2 here, which is a smart play. They're just going to continue pressuring these towers, continuing to try and get as much map control as possible. In the meantime, we do see there's the TP from Weaver heading back. Storm Spirit's on his way as well.
I'm not quite sure I agree with this play. I feel as if they should have just kept trying to get this tier 1 tower, because they have no chance at defending this tier 2 right now, and the tier 2 will fall. They could have at least grabbed a tier 1 tower with it. However, I might be wrong. Courier's going to get picked off. It had nothing on the Courier, luckily. Zip comes flying in with the Infest, doing a lot of damage. The Lunar Crypt is popped. Hand of God, however, just completely negates that. Boat comes flying. Boat whiffs. Then we see a great ice path onto 2 heroes. Bane tries to brain sap his way to victory. He's going to fall shortly after. That's 3 heroes down. There goes the Zip straight in, getting rid of that Sprout. Then they find the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet will fall. Nice ice path, cancelling the TP, and that is a team wipe by White Lotus Slayers.
Definitely, and not only that, they lost the courier there. That's a lot of gold to the entire team, and that tier 2 tower was defended. So extremely well played there by White Lotus Slayers.
I can't believe they managed to defend that tower and then get turnaround. I am ridiculously surprised. Coming out of nowhere, coming out of that left field, White Lotus Slayers just played absolutely fantastic. And those heals by the chain, actually we see an initiation onto the Lunar in mid, open wounds, we got the Swarm coming out, lowering the damage, and Chen uses his Test of Faith to finish off that Lunar before the TP supports could come in with their 5-second teleports, which is a little bit disheartening for their side, but Luna's still got a nice farm no matter where you look at it. She's got 49 creep kills. It's not the best, she's after her 4 deaths, she's been slowed down quite a lot, but she can pull back into this game out of nowhere as she does have that aura which does dramatically boost her damage.
Yeah, I mean, she is a bit lacking at the moment in terms of net worth overall, currently sitting at 3.7k, and when you've got a lifestealer who's at 6.4, and a actually Chen is second on the list for White Lotus Slayers.
Ooh, he's looking at him.
Just be careful.
Then we got a Swarm comes flying out, just going to ward off that Nature's Prophet. But White Lotus Slayers, they have to be real careful here. If they want to jump on in, we could see a turnaround by Zykon. And this happened earlier in the game. This Weaver and Stormstroke, they tried to find a kill, and they got picked off by the 4-hero turnaround by Zykon. But it's not going to happen this time. They're wise enough to back on out of there.
I gotta say that the vision also for Zykon is probably just a little bit better overall this game. You know, besides the early very smart sentry play, very smart observer ward placements there by the supports, even currently they've got I guess more aggressive warding, whereas White Lotus says they've had to put up a ward up in their own jungle just to ensure, well, to try and negate some of that ganking potential. I'm not sure how much help it will be because Zykon love to just smoke gank, and you know, Observer Ward does not do anything to help against that, or it does very little.
And down at bottom we have the Stormstroke. Sorry, I thought the Stormstroke was jumping in, he was ready to jump on in. But there's going to be TP spot. These two are just playing with fire at the moment. But yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, definitely. No, all good. I was just going to say, you know, they've put down a nice ward in the river now, and that does give them a little bit more vision. And there's another ward there. So this is some good spotting, and they will counter ward this. So they sort of turned around their vision because they did lack a little bit. Oh my god, those misses as well. Was that 4 or 5?
That was too many to count. That's unfortunate for the Chen. They know that they've got a ward up here. Can we see a counter ward of those 2 wards at the moment? So that's a little bit unfortunate. He's going to waste a little bit of gold there from that sentry and that observer because I think there's counter wards coming in on the courier. Nope, that's just the claymore for Nature's Prophet to start working towards his Shadow Blade.
Yeah, so this won't be counter warded, which well, at least not now. The supports will have to wait for the courier to come back with some sentries, and by then it might be a little bit too late. However, you know, this, even if it doesn't get counter warded by Zykon, they know it's there, so they're going to be very careful when moving around in that area.
Even this poor Jakira is getting a lot of misses. That's 2 misses so far, but he had a better shot than Chen, that poor Chen. So they do eventually get that.
Got, like, evasion.
Yeah. So we will be seeing a little bit of farm and upstage from both sides. I feel as if it goes into this farm orientated build, we will see White Lotus Slayers, they will pull ahead, purely because of that lifesteal. He can take that Luna without too much problems. He's got that rage, that 6-second magic immunity against a Luna who doesn't quite rely on her Eclipse, but that does help her win most of these fights. And with that rage, if these 2 heroes get the same amount of farm, that lifesteal will pull ahead. So I really think Zykon, they need to keep trying to put pressure onto the side of White Lotus Slayers, or they're going to slowly start falling behind here, because their map position, they've got fantastic map position, they've got the towers, but if they allow White Lotus Slayers just to farm up, they're not going to be able to catch back up in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just the lifesteal as well. They've got the Weaver on their side as well. Storm Spirit as well can be quite
See an initiation
deadly.
into the jungle. Nice X-Master spot onto the torrent. We got the Wrath of Nature come flying through. Nice one here. Will he use pop the Hand of God to save himself? No, he won't. He will get picked off. He does save that Hand of God. If he'd popped it then, I really think he could have survived. We see a nice net coming out by Chen, trying to keep that Kunkka into place. Kunkka's going to keep on running. Will he open wounds? He's just out of range. I really feel as if Hand of God was popped then, he would have survived, it would have been useful, and they could have possibly turned that around a little bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree that if the Hand of God went off, Chen should have been able to survive long enough for his allies to come in, and maybe even turn around the fight and get a kill or 2.
Because I would have thought, because how aggressive Zykon is, they probably would have stayed around a little bit longer trying to secure that kill on the Chen, and then that would have given enough time for White Lotus Slayers to come back around and probably try and find, maybe not a kill onto the Kunkka, but send him back to base, force him out of XP and gold range, because at the moment he's still farming up down on bottom with this Luna, she's working towards that Yasha. Her farm, as you've said previously, isn't the greatest, but she's working her way back up there. I mean, she's now sitting on 3rd, where she was at one stage 5th or 6th on the leaderboards, but she's making her way there, and that can only mean one thing. That can only be positive, I should say, for that Luna.
Yeah, definitely agree. And this Nature's Prophet now, he's picked up a Shadow Blade as well. So this is the sort of time where you see the Nature's Prophet be even, like, he's already been very active around the map. But with a Shadow Blade, he'll be feeling much more safer to just teleport in the lane, summon his trees, push it a little bit, do some chip damage on towers, and then back off if he needs to. And in fact, that's what he's going to do right now. And this is exactly what he should be doing. It's a very smart play here from Nature's Prophet. He does have his Midas, so his farm is going to continue to skyrocket. I wouldn't be too surprised if he starts working towards his next big item, such as a Desolator or potentially the Cypher Vice.
And we have a Revelation Ward up at top rune that's just unfortunately out of vision range of that Observer, and it's kind of flying in midair. But that's a little bit unfortunate for Zykon. They're not going to be able to make that ward pay off a little bit longer, and they've already got another ward up on their safe high ground, spotting over their jungle, which is currently triple stacked, ready and waiting for this Conquer to pick up about 1.3k gold and a lot of XP. They may even try and share this around the group, but it's a nice little stacking going on by Zykon, thinking ahead, and at the same time, White Lotus says they have a double stack of their own on their side of the map. So both sides, they're doing nice. They're utilizing the map and the jungle to the fullest potential.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very big ancient stack. It's 4 now. Yeah, 4 stack. Or is it 5? Trying to count like all the big creeps.
I think it's a triple. No, quad. Yeah, quad sounds about right. And in mid lane, we have a nice torrent landed on 2 heroes with the splash coming through, doing quite a lot of damage from Stormspirit. He went from 1000 down to 500 HP, and that hurts quite a lot. And Dragon, he's stealing the enemy Ancients. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, definitely, and this is quite a big deal and sets Luna forward a lot more. And we can see that currently White Lotus Slayers are still playing relatively passively. We saw the Storm Spirit 0TBK in that bottom lane a little while ago with, I don't remember who it was, but they were playing a little bit aggressively, and now they decide to just back off as they've noticed that, you know, there was a bit of roaming going on with the Nature's Prophet and the Kanka, who do have their Shadow Blades. They can just move around and jump on heroes who are by themselves, so they do have to play very, very careful.
I'd like to see a little bit of a smoke gank. We've got a smoke on this Chen. We may see a smoke gank before they walk down here. Will we see it popped? No, they won't. They'll just casually walk through the river. And there's a Conquer. He's in the middle now. He picks it up. We'll see a Revenant. Revenant was a little bit slow, but they popped the dust. They may find a Conquer. Conquer's taking a lot of damage, and there he goes. One of the key heroes of Zykon's down. Storm Spirit knows this. He's trying to jump in onto that Visage. Visage wards him off with that Soul Assumption. And now Weaver. He's looking for blood. They may even look to pressure this tier 1 mid tower, or they might continue to find more. Now they're going to turn back around. No, they won't. Yes, they will. I have no clue. There they go. Back to mid.
Did split up a little bit there. We've looks like I was going to the bottom lane for a second there, but decides to turn around and go back into mid. I feel like that if the Weaver did decide to go into the bottom lane, that would not have been too bad of an idea, because that way they could have pushed 2 lanes at once. You know, the Conquer is still down for another 10 seconds, and at the very least, if not get to the bottom tier 1, do some chip damage.
And we have a TP going into the enemy fountain. Will he be able to find the chip on the courier? He gets it. So he snipes the courier in the enemy fountain. That is a sneaky play coming out of Eduardo. Nice play as well. It will give him a little bit more gold and shut down that item potential. We have a torrent and X-Master spot onto the tier 2 tower. And Chen just pops like a bubble. And the Visage, they're trying to get the stuns onto the Chen creep. Get rid of that summoner, as he's one of the strongest creeps being able to lock down heroes. So nice play coming from Zykon, making the best of the situation, sneaking that kill onto that courier and finding Chen all on his lonesome.
Yeah, Zykon really wanted revenge. I mean, their courier died a little while ago, and now it's payback time apparently. Nice cannon warding there. They still need to kill this Observer ward, which is up on this ledge. It's out of sentry vision at the moment. They could pick it off. It doesn't matter actually. This smoke they're going to go straight for Roshan. For a second I thought they were going to go for a nice gank, but they went to Roshan, and this is a very smart play.
Yeah, it is. They've got their bottom lane's pushed out, the mid lane's pushing in, the top lane is starting to be slowly drawn to their side, and in the meantime they have more than enough damage to pull down this Roshan before Whitelist Slayers can make a turnaround, before they even probably notice that Roshan's being attacked. And there we go, Roshan is now picked up, goes to the Luna, and Luna, she's just going to stand in the middle of these fights, pulling out a lot of damage. She's working towards her Manta style. She's got that ultimate orb up in her stash, and she should be able to pick up her Manta style now. I believe the recipe is only 700, unless I'm mistaken. That's 900. Okay.
900. Yeah, she will actually get this massive ancient stack, and then yeah, she'll pick up that Manta. Actually, the one thing I like to say, Nature's Prophet placed his treants very smartly. Instead of popping some wards up on these high areas to hold that fort, they tried to jump on the Nature's Prophet. Well, mainly the Storm Spirit here with the lifesteal infested, but he knew it was coming, and he smartly Shadow Blade out and teleport. But as I was saying, yeah, Nature's Prophet put these treants in key spots near the ramps and whatnot, so that way if the enemy did decide to or did notice that they were rushing, or try to at the very least scout it, they could have reacted appropriately, and that's a very smart play.
And Zykon being very on the ball, they saw a ward be placed up onto this top river, so that should be counter-warded out quite soon. If oh, you'd expect it, they know it's there. They may even want to use that vision to their advantage to try and do some luring kills and lure White Lotus Slayers into a trap. I mean, there's some pings coming out, but now they want to wrap around into the enemy jungle. Dragon is drawn on the map. He's got a plan. He wants to find some blood. So, look to see them smoke up very shortly. There we go. Smoke's on the crew, and there's wards. They will go to this Visage. So they're coming over. They're going to counter ward this. It's a little nice awareness coming out by Zykon.
Yeah, and we've noticed them be very map aware, and their ward placement has been phenomenal for all the games they've played so far in this tournament. You know, from the game that we've seen so far from White Lotus Slayers, their warding and map vision is really good as well. Certainly got to give them credit for that. They've actually just placed another ward here on this ledge to refresh it, as it was about, the last one did expire. But yeah, so they've maintained good vision. But yeah, Zykon, they've been really good with their dewarding as well.
And they're smoked up. Once again, Dragon, he plans the attack out onto the map. They're looking to find anyone that coming out of position. Weaver's currently alone on that bottom lane, and it's going to be a 4v5 fight if they decide to wrap around and try and hit Zykon. I mean, they've been spotted on the map. They're going to be walking straight into their vision. They know it's here. They're coming down. They're on top. They're on the hill. They've got the advantage. There we go. Fiend Scripts out onto the lifesteal. Nice solo clips. Stormshot zips in. Hand of God popped a little late. Jakira does fall. There we see the boat. It will whiff and fest, but that's not enough to find any damage. Lifesteal and that Chen will fall. Stormshot does fall in the backlines. Nature's Prophet throws out that vision. He does have time lapse. He does time lapse back out of that sprout, but he's not going to be able to get on out of there. And that's a team wipe going in favor of Zykon Esports.
Definitely, and we should see this tier 2 tower fall for sure, and maybe even a tier 3. We have to remember that Luna still has that Aegis, so they should be feeling very, very safe to push up into the base now.
And
they're working. They've got 30 seconds before this lifesteal and Weaver's up and running. They should be able to get this tier 3 tower mid. That Wildkin just being a pain in the ass with that tornado in the center there. It forces the buyback coming out from that Weaver, but this tower should easily go down. There it goes. It goes down. They're going to get a Rax. So this buyback from Weaver could be for nothing. Could have just wasted a little bit of money he needs. They're doing a fair bit of damage. The Jewel Breath coming out. This Rax still hasn't gone down. Now Visage pops that Jakiro like he was absolutely nothing. The Wrath of Nature comes through. They will pop the Weaver. He buys back and dies. That hurts. Lifesteal's TPing in. Stormshot jumps in, but he instantly gets scythed by that Nature's Prophet who picked it up. We will see Lifesteal. He will pick off the Visage, but Chen falls on the backlines. AWC, he does die, and once again, that's another team wipe going in favor of Zykon. They get racks, they get some towers, and the GGs are popped. Zykon will take game 1 of this best of 3.
That's just an amazing play. When they hit that GG button, that was phenomenal. They That smoke gank, the wraparound was just perfect. Their engagement, the Fiends group onto their lifestyle, locked them down for long enough for them to make the important plays. By the time he got out of it, it was too low health to do much, and multiple heroes from White Lotus Slayers had already fallen. So extremely well played there by Zykon, taking game number 1.